Have you ever become aware of how time seems to shift its rhythm as we move through life? In earlier years, it often felt measured by career milestones, promotions, and deadlines. Now the daily pace might be gentler, but the questions can be larger. What does fulfillment look like now when the structure of a career is behind us? Many people find that life after formal work is a rare opportunity, a chapter rich with potential for purpose and joy. You've spent decades building experience, skill, and wisdom. Now it's time to ask, what calls to you in this season? Let's start with something many folks experience after retirement: a subtle restlessness, even when the calendar is wide open. It's not about missing your last job or longing for another meeting. It's the old hum of purpose, inviting you to discover a new tune. Here are some insights and practical steps to help turn this chapter from after work to true fulfillment, drawing on everything you've lived and learned. First, recognize and honor your unique wealth of experience. You know how easily the world can overlook lived wisdom, focusing on what's shiny and new. But your skills, your years of observation, your patience with things that take time, these are gold. The first insight is simple. Your experience is an asset, not just to you but to others who need a guiding hand. Maybe you once mentored new colleagues or steered a team through rough waters. That same steady knowledge is still valuable, now in new ways. Think about volunteering, guest speaking at community events, or recording your life lessons for your family. These actions extend your legacy of learning. Even reaching out to a younger neighbor or grandchild with, "Have you ever thought about?" can make an enormous difference. The step here is to list 3 things you know deeply and consider where your wisdom might make someone else's journey easier. Next, let's talk about purpose beyond productivity. Much of our work life taught us to measure worth by output and efficiency. But fulfillment isn't confined to what gets ticked off a to-do list. Purpose is more expansive. It can live in a garden you tend, a cause you believe in, the care you show friends or neighbors, even in small, consistent acts of kindness. What do you wake up feeling drawn to, even if there's no paycheck or applause? For some, purpose might be found in deepening a creative pursuit, like painting or writing. For others, it's reconnecting with old friends or nurturing a spiritual path left unattended during busy years. The invitation: each week set aside dedicated time for something that stirs your curiosity or compassion, not just your sense of should. Reflect for a moment. When recently did you feel quietly satisfied or genuinely engaged? That's often a clue to where your personal calling now resides. Now, one of the richest gifts of this life stage is the freedom to align your days with your deepest values. During peak career years, practicalities usually came first, providing, saving, perhaps sacrificing time for those you loved in the name of responsibility. But this chapter offers new freedom. You can choose what and who gets your energy. An example: imagine 2 people, both recently retired. One fills their days with errands and chores, always busy but rarely content. The other is intentional, blocking out mornings for walks with friends, afternoons for volunteering at the library, and quiet evenings reading books once postponed. That simple, conscious shift from busyness to meaningful presence can change everything. The action step is to review your week and gently cut one thing that feels depleting. In its place, add one activity, no matter how small, that feels aligned with your deeper joys or values. If you're enjoying these ideas and feel they resonate, please consider liking and subscribing to help us grow our channel, Ageless Intuition. Your support helps build a mindful, supportive community. Let's turn to the importance of connection. As social creatures, our sense of fulfillment is often deeply tied to relationships. Work once gave us a built-in network. Now it's up to us to nurture a web of meaning. Sometimes friendships change as life circumstances evolve, and that can feel bittersweet. But in this new phase, connecting with others becomes a conscious, intentional act. Try reaching out. Call an old friend, join a local group, or attend a class that interests you. It could be a book club, a gardening circle, or a walking group. The key is to surround yourself with people who share your curiosity and kindness. Even a single deep conversation each week can nourish the heart far more than a calendar full of empty appointments. Pause and ask yourself, who in your life brings you energy, warmth, or inspiration? Would you like to reconnect or grow those bonds? If so, take a small step, a note, a phone call, an invitation. Next, let's recognize the value in embracing curiosity. One of the privileges of later life is the spaciousness to explore new interests without pressure. It's never too late to learn, be it languages, music, technology, or even unfamiliar genres of film or literature. Growth can be playful. It doesn't need to feel like homework. You might try a cooking class, experiment with podcasts, or even start jotting down stories from your own life. These explorations give each day a hint of adventure, making time feel fresh and open rather than routine. To start, pick one subject or hobby you've always wanted to try and take just a first, modest step. Remember, enjoyment, not mastery, is the reward. Here's something else that can profoundly enrich this stage of life: accepting and even celebrating change, especially in identity. For many, identity was wrapped around the role of engineer, teacher, nurse, or other titles. Ending a career can sometimes feel like losing a part of yourself. Yet by embracing the adventure of becoming, we discover new parts to our story. Reflection helps here. Who are you? Apart from any title or job description, what personal qualities have accompanied you through all your chapters? Perhaps it's kindness, resilience, humor, or creativity. Take a few moments to notice and name these enduring strengths. Carry them as a quiet confidence into any new pursuit. Now let's talk about the significance of giving back, or generativity, as psychologists sometimes call it. This isn't just about grand gestures. Even the smallest acts of generosity, sharing a recipe, listening to a neighbor, offering encouragement, create ripples. Research shows that giving back benefits not just the receiver, but the giver's own sense of well-being, health, and even longevity. To bring this alive, commit to one act of giving this week. It might be mentoring someone younger, helping out at a local charity, or simply being fully present when a loved one needs to talk. Notice how it energizes you. Giving and fulfillment often walk hand in hand during life's encore chapters. A question for your reflection: when in your past did helping someone else lift your own spirits? What opportunities might exist now for that kind of meaningful contribution? One more insight, often underestimated but essential, is nurturing self-compassion. We're taught to be productive, to persevere, but gentleness toward oneself is a quiet superpower, especially during transitions. There may be moments when you feel uncertain or wish you'd done things differently. Acknowledge these with the same kindness you'd offer a dear friend. If a day feels slow or a plan falls through, allow space for rest or simple pleasures. Maybe it's a walk, a favorite record, or a revisit to an old photo album. Treating yourself with patience makes it easier to stay engaged and open to new possibilities. Review how often self-kindness shows up in your weekly routine. If it's rare, sprinkle in a few moments, a warm cup of tea, a call to an old friend, a gentle "that's enough for today." These small acts help create a foundation of resilience and peace. If what you're hearing today resonates, please take a moment to like and subscribe to Ageless Intuition. Our channel grows because of meaningful support from thoughtful viewers like you, and we're grateful you're with us. Looking back, you've weathered decades of change, built a life rich with story and meaning. The gifts of this new chapter come not from the titles or tasks of former years, but from answering the quieter callings, those that linger after the applause. Whether through giving back, deepening relationships, embracing curiosity, or living your values, fulfillment is less about what's next and more about what matters most. Remember, we're building a community here, a gathering place for sharing ideas, experiences, and encouragement. If you'd like, reflect in the comments, what new purpose or calling have you discovered in this season? What small actions have brought you joy? Thanks for watching. Tap that like button and subscribe. If this brought you joy today, we're growing thanks to wonderful folks like you. Wishing you a peaceful day, wrapped in warmth and love.